Great to have you with us on Baseball Tonight. The game tonight coming from Chavez Ravine in Los Angeles. The Cubs and the Dodgers. Fans fired up right now because Los Angeles has turned things around. But, hey, what's going on with the Super Mario Brothers and Starlin Castro? Well, the Cubs will be wearing their pajamas on the way out of this one. So, you know, Joe Madden's got some fun ideas up his sleeve. Just all in on Ninja Turtles and Michelangelo and pizza. Hector Rondon apparently is indeed Superman. Justin Turner can do a lot of different things for the LA Dodgers so far. Been putting up very good numbers. And Chase Utley, the numbers are misleading. Aaron Boone will tell you why he's actually been really good for this LA team. Baseball Tonight, right now. Baseball Tonight is presented by Chevrolet. And with that, we say welcome to Baseball Tonight, Sunday Night Countdown. Aaron Boone, Tim Kirchin, I'm Adnan Burke, and collectively, Tim, we are pretty in pink today.
3 for 3, how about that?
How about the fact Tim figured out how to use an emoji for the first time? That is breathtaking news.
It was a little puppy dog. It's the first time I've ever done it.
It's incredible. A little disappointing you guys went tireless, but hey, somebody's got to step it up.
Well, I appreciate that. The king of cool over here, Aaron Boone. Cannot wait for the game tonight. Cubs-Dodgers, in case you've missed the series so far, here's what went down on Friday night. Clayton Kershaw was magnificent.
Yeah, I'd say he was pitching with a little bit of urgency to start off this series against a very hot Chicago Cubs team and a very hot offense. He's been doing what he's been doing now for the last couple months.
11th 10 strikeout game this year. Only Sandy Koufax has more in any season for a Dodger.
Amazing. 14 strikeouts for Kershaw on the win. As for yesterday, John Lester was on the mound. There's been some criticism of him, Booney, but you like what you've seen from John Lester.
Yeah, and I think he's throwing the ball really well right now, and I think he's in a good spot as they get ready to go down the stretch. But Matt Latos was back on the bump for the Dodgers. Andre Ethier gets a huge hit, and this was a huge win for the Dodgers. On paper, looked like a mismatch with Lester going, now with a chance to sweep the series.
All right, with more on the Dodgers and the Cubs, let's hear from our friend Buster Olney, who as always is a part of our coverage. And Buster, think about this. Anthony Rizzo struggled so much against lefties in the past, yet really dedicated himself to figuring it out, and that's been one of the biggest reasons he's had such a good year. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, he's one of the best left-handed hitters now against left-handed pitchers. This is after hitting 208 in 2012, hitting 189 in just 2013. And when I asked him how he got better, he pointed at Eric Hinsky, who's the assistant hitting coach. He's the guy who convinced Rizzo to move up on the plate. Now, the reason why he did that was not necessarily to combat left-handers, but because he was being beaten by the shift so often. Hinsky's thought was, if you stand up on the plate, you'll move the strike zone. And that, of course, for left-handers has left a very small sliver for them to throw at. And oftentimes, he just gets hits 10 times this year by left-handers, and he's hitting so well. Jake Arrieta starts for the Chicago Cubs tonight. And in the first month after he was traded from the Orioles to the Cubs after struggling in Baltimore, what he talked about with President Theo Epstein was trying to get back to his natural delivery. He said, I don't want to worry about mechanics anymore, about where I'm supposed to step. I just want to get back to throwing the way I did as a kid. Boy, is it working for him. 16-6, 2.22 ERA this year, a Cy Young Award candidate. And Adnan, you've always heard stories about different players with their workouts. I've had guys in the Cubs tell me that Arrieta will match up against anybody, to the point that before games at Wrigley Field, he'll go for a bike ride, 12 or 13 miles, then come back, then do Pilates, and then he starts his preparation for that night's start.
Well, Tim Kirchin, also a big fan of the Pilates, Buster, so it's good to know that's really taken a hold throughout baseball. We'll check back with you momentarily about the Dodgers, but as far as the Cubs lineup is concerned, Booney, you take a look, and this offense, kind of like the Mets lately, has really taken off.
Yeah, I mean, really, for the first half of the season, it was all about the pitching. The pitching has still been there, but now all of a sudden, the offense and some of the younger guys have really started to contribute. Bryant, Rizzo have been huge all year, but now Castro's starting to contribute. Dexter Fowler's been much better. Schwarber's obviously been huge, and Addison Russell, since moving to shortstop now, swinging a much better bat. This is a very good Cub offense now, which was a struggle, though, for the first few months of the year.
And with regards to the pitching, Tim, sometimes we get guilty of saying a guy's very underrated, but we cover it all the time. But Jake Arrieta seriously is about as underrated pitcher in the game right now.
Right. He's going for 14 consecutive quality starts tonight. The only Cub since 1969 that's done that is Greg Maddux, who had 14 start stretches with a quality start in each. Plus, the last 349 batters that Arrieta's faced, he's allowed 1 home run. And during that time, Arrieta hit a home run also. And as far as Buster's workout thing, I was with the Orioles with Brady Anderson a few years ago. Brady's one of the coaches. And he says, hey, Jake, show Tim how you can walk on your hands. And Jake Arrieta walked across the clubhouse on his hands. I don't think Denny McClain was doing that in 1968, but it works for this guy.
I mean, he's a stud. I mean, he is an ace, and he did it last year. So it shouldn't be that much of a surprise, or shouldn't be sneaking up on us, or he shouldn't be under the radar anymore. He's a Chicago Cub, and he's dominating. And he reminds me a lot of Corey Kluber on the mound. When you watch their stuff, he's more of a curveball, Kluber's more of a slider. But when they get it working, it's video game-like. It's that breaking ball that's just wicked and nasty and can embarrass you as a hitter. And you know, the fastball to go along with it. He's a bona fide, true number 1.
And you got Lester in the mix there, too, so a very good 1-2 now there for Joe Madden. Let's take a look at the Dodgers lineup. This is who Arrieta is facing tonight. And, Tim, certainly it's been a little bit herky-jerky with Yasiel Puig out of the lineup right now, but Chase Utley trying to pay dividends in between Rollins and Adrian Gonzalez hitting second now.
Yeah, but a lot of moving parts in this, and they're trying to find the right mix. Jock Peterson's back in the lineup. Fellas, he's got 21 walks and 5 hits in the month of August. Think about that. No one's ever had 20 walks and as few as 5 hits in any calendar month ever. And that's what he's, you know, threatening to do here, meaning he's not swinging very well, but he still can take a walk.
And he strikes out a ton as well. It's just more maddening because you see how great he was in that first half of the season. Let's bring back in Buster Olney. Buster, how about it? This Dodgers outfield situation, as Tim said, there's lots of moving parts there. Can you try to decipher it for us?
Well, I mean, you basically take it day by day. Carl Crawford starting in left field today. He was told a couple of days ago after Yasiel Puig was hurt that he's going to get an opportunity to play in the outfield on a regular basis. Kike Hernandez is going to be in the lineup on a regular basis. Mostly been playing center field, but today he's starting at third base. You mentioned Jock Peterson. He actually was out here early yesterday taking extra batting practice, trying to shorten his swing. Don Mattingly said this is going to be something that's going to take a long process to try to close up that front hip. We'll see if he plays his way back into the mix. Andre Ethier starting in right field. He's been swinging the bat really well in the month of August. Don Mattingly talked about the Giants before the game, and he used this phrase with all due respect. He likes it, cockroaches, in describing the Giants. He said, because they just don't go away. They keep coming at you. The Giants have played well against the Dodgers this year, and the two teams start a huge series on Monday. But it looks like the Dodgers could have an opportunity to really distance themselves from San Francisco, which is dealing with all kinds of injury issues. Joe Panik has had a setback. He's not going to be back for the Dodgers series. Hunter Pence won't be back for a couple more weeks. Angel Pagan won't be activated until Tuesday. So it looks like, guys, the Dodgers are going to catch the Giants at exactly the right time.
All right, Buster, thank you very much. Look forward to the call of the game tonight alongside you and the rest of the crew. Let's take a look at those Giants right now as they're taking on the Cardinals. Second pitch of the game for Matt Carpenter off Chris Heston, 20th home run this season. Cards up Wednesday.
Well, Chris Heston came back to the rotation today, hoping to get a boost and pick up where he left off in the first half of the season. It was a struggle for him. Matt Carpenter out the front door. And then Jason Hayward continues to get big hits. Blanco doesn't help his pitcher out at all with the misjudge, but this Cardinal team was hitting him hard early.
Stephen Piscotty scores there. Cardinals up 2-0. Bottom of the first, Giants down 3-0. But, Tim, it's Marlon Byrd answering.
How good has he been, fellas? I mean, he had a grand slam the other night to win that game. This is a 3-run. He gets 3 RBIs on this play. I mean, they really need him with Hunter Pence hurt, and he has really filled in beautifully. Now they got to get Pence and Panik back if they're going to have a chance to catch the Dodgers.
And top of the fourth, it's Brandon Moss. His second home run with the Cardinals. Heston roughed up. Booney, this Giants pitching has been letting them down.
It really has, and it's ultimately the reason I don't think they're going to make it to the postseason this year. I've written them off before, but there's just too much inconsistencies in that starting rotation to think it's going to change.
Blanco looking against Hey, Gregory Blanco going down there against Broxton. And so as we look at the NL West standings right now, it's 3.5 games back for San Francisco. The Dodgers have the lead, but that huge series coming up. Now, it should be noted, Tim, San Francisco is 9-3 versus the Dodgers. They've still got 7 games left. But are you as wary of them because of the pitching, as Aaron mentioned?
Yeah, their pitching isn't what it was, but you can't stress enough how much they miss Hunter Pence. Go look at the numbers above 500 and below 500 with him. It's ridiculous. And Joe Panik means almost as much defensively and what he brings to that lineup. I can't wait for Tuesday night. Yeah. It's Bumgarner against Greinke. Wow, that should be great.
Yeah, they've got to take advantage of this, the Dodgers right now. San Francisco's a little wounded. It looks like the Dodgers have turned it around after Clayton Kershaw's comments about playing with some urgency. I really think Chase Utley's played a big role in kind of helping set the tone a little bit, change the culture a little bit, a little toughness, a little feistiness, but the Dodgers need to take advantage in this series. A team that's owned them, they can send a message and create a little distance with 30-plus games to go.
Yeah, the best news for San Francisco has been just hang in there. You still got 7 games head-to-head. You win 5 of those, could be a different story. Lots more coming up here on Baseball Tonight. Sunday night countdown, including a look at Joe Madden. He's one of the quirkiest, most eccentric guys in the game, and certainly one of the most unique. A look at his beginnings and his background as well. As we are building up to the game at the top of the hour, going to be a lot of fun when the Cubs and the Dodgers hook up. Dodgers are happy. They're on a winning streak. The Cubs want to get back in that win column.
What's the most awarded car company of the year? Ranking from top to bottom.
Luxury cars just seem like they would be top awarded.
Yeah.
There better be some awards behind what you're paying for, right?
The final answer? Chevrolet is the most awarded car company of the year.
Really? I just was surprised.
I'm interested to learn more about Chevy.
Let's check out these 2015 Chevys.
It's like a luxury car.
I was shocked. I mean, it's like, this is Chevy?
The most dangerous place to make a decision is in the office. Today, I run most of my business from the phone. This allows you to take the decision exactly at the point where it matters. We have literally billions of transactions every day. And with the Salesforce One platform, everything is connected, collaborative, and mobile. We are onto something very, very special. Some could call it a secret formula.
More data means more freedom to do whatever. That's why AT&T is giving you 50% more data. That's 15 gigs of data for the price of 10. Because the more data you have, the better. And right now, at AT&T, get $300 credit for every line you switch when you trade in a smartphone and buy any smartphone on AT&T Next.
Scott Danshaw was never afraid of a good dare. Or even a double dare. A dare made him a legend at Brunner Valley High. And a pro basketball player for 10 seconds. Scott Danshaw, we have 3 more dares for you. Mild chipotle, hot habanero, and fiery ghost pepper. Taco Bell's new $1 Daredevil loaded grillers. Try all 3 if you dare.
Stay ahead of engine threats with new Shell V Power Nitro Plus Premium Gasoline. Unbeatable protection against gunk and corrosion. And superior protection against wear. For the best total engine protection you can get.
So here I am in the middle of nowhere with my customer. And I turn around and there's 3 rattlesnakes.
Oh, right at the good part.
Hey, Dave.
I got it.
I got it.
What? We got a meeting at noon.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Don't worry, Rob. You're covered.
Okay, sorry. Where was I?
State Farm agents are there whenever you need them.
I wanted to brew beer for a living. Sounded like a crazy dream at the time, but I was set on becoming a brewmaster. I traveled to Belgium to earn my PhD in brewing. In the process, I discovered my love for Belgian wits. This was the inspiration for the first beer we brewed in Denver, Blue Moon Belgian White. The slightly sweet Valencia orange peel and creamy oats in the beer were my twist on a traditional Belgian wit. And seeing people still enjoying it, that's why we brew.
This is the feeling.
of turning a game you love into a lifetime of cash. DraftKings.com, the daily fantasy baseball destination, is giving away over $300 million this baseball season. And the games are one day, so you can play for your share every single day. Just pick your sport, pick your players, and pick up your cash. Step up to the plate at DraftKings.com. Play with promo code MOUND and get free entry in our daily contests. Get to DraftKings.com.
Thompson's Water Seal Waterproofing Stain. The seal you can trust, with stain and sealer in one, and easy to choose colors. Exceptional beauty and protection have never been easier. Thompson's Water Seal Waterproofing Stain, available at the Home Depot.
Tonight on SportsCenter, Robin Roberts sits down with Serena Williams as she looks to complete the Serena Slam. Plus, Lindsay Zarniak speaks with Jen Welter, the first female coach in the NFL. 2 Sunday conversations tonight at 11 on SportsCenter.
Baseball tonight. Sunday Night Countdown is presented by Chevrolet. Find new roads. And in part by State Farm. Find your agent at statefarm.com. Alongside Aaron Boone, Tim Kirk, and Adnan Burke, Joe Madden, Ron Renicky. Just talking shop right now. Joe's letting that beard go. Really kind of getting that Dr. Emmett Brown Back to the Future look going. But that really is part of the point when it comes to Joe Madden. Because you look at the hair and the faux hawk and the Elvis Costello glasses. He brings in penguins and hypnotists. All that obscures the fact he's one of the smartest guys in baseball. And he has accelerated the plan for these Chicago Cubs. Wait until next year? Well, why not this year? Gene Wojciechowski takes a look at Joe Madden and his unique journey to the big leagues.
If Chicago Cubs manager Joe Madden seems bigger than life these days, that's because he is. He has his own sandwich.
Hey, hi, can I get an order of a Joe Madden Italian hoagie and a Coke, please?
He has his own band of followers. And according to the National League standings, Madden has the Cubs someplace they haven't been in years. A playoff race. Something he predicted in his memorable introductory press conference last November.
In my mind's eye, we're going to make the playoffs next year, and that's how I'm going to approach next season.
Naturally, that raised eyebrows. Cubs haven't reached the postseason since 2008, haven't won a pennant since 1945, and haven't won a World Series since 1908. Is Madden nuts?
If you're not a little bit crazy, you're never going to take the necessary risks to be great. Whether it's like some guy in the clubhouse doing something nuts, or whether it's bringing a python in there, whether it's bringing penguins in there, bringing a salsa band in there, or a DJ, something that loosens the moment up.
How about hiring a magician to break a slump? Catching hockey fever? Batting his pitchers 8th in the order? And speaking of crazy, is it true that you once told an umpire, "I love you"?
It's Bob Davidson. Yeah, it was a couple years ago. We were having a good argument behind home plate, but I did drop that on him, and he told me that he likes me too.
Everyone likes Madden, especially in his blue-collar hometown of Hazleton, Pennsylvania. Madden left Hazleton in 1976, but Hazleton never left him.
And this is our apartment building right behind us here. All of us lived on the top. My family, my brother and sister lived in the back right corner. I used to get in trouble sometimes. My mom was a disciplinarian. My dad kind of thought a lot of it was funny. Like if I broke a window, what a great arm I had. My mom would get upset. My dad said, "Look at his arm."
Madden's father, Joe Sr., was a plumber. He died in 2002. But his mom, Beanie, still works in the family sandwich shop, third base.
Mom, please obey the traffic laws.
Oh, shush. I own this.
Look at how fast she's driving. She's 80 years old. Slow down.
In the last decade, a surge in the Hispanic and Latino population has created a divide here. 4 years ago, Madden introduced the Hazleton Integration Project and later established this community center as a way to help the economically disadvantaged and unify his hometown.
We have so much more similarities than differences. Once you start communicating and you start building relationships, and then trust starts to blossom. Once you get trust working, man, a lot of good things are going to happen.
A lot of people pay lip service to supporting their community, and then they get on a plane and they kind of fly away, either literally or metaphorically. But Joe never flew away from this community.
He's the perfect example of the hometown boy make good.
Madden's success story began with 4 forgettable seasons as a $500 a month minor leaguer in the Angels organization. After his release in 1979, he began a 3 decades-long baseball odyssey. From minor league manager, instructor, and scout to big league coach, and finally, big league manager in 2006. Do you think it took longer because people didn't know what to make of you?
It took longer because I never played in the big leagues. That's it. If I had ever gotten even like 2 at-bats, 1 at-bat in the big leagues, if I was, Moonlight Graham, I probably would have been a major league manager a lot sooner.
Looking back, what would you have given for that 1 at-bat?
I've actually had dreams about it. I mean, you actually dream about stuff like that. That I've actually done it. I've seen myself playing in the game.
You know who was pitching?
I don't, but I was pretty successful.
Madden has been pretty successful while wide awake, too. He led the spending-impaired Tampa Bay Rays to the 2008 World Series. Now the Cubs are paying him $5 million a year to reverse the curse of billy goats and scapegoats.
The legacy stuff that's been passed down for years, unrequited whatevers for 100 years. I get it, but I just don't vibrate at that frequency.
Madden isn't afraid of different. Not in baseball, not in lodging choices. Instead of staying in a hotel or rental house, he lives here in a trailer park.
We have a decent time. This is home for spring training.
This is nice.
Yeah, it is nice. I mean, look at it. That's all you need during camp. You've been inside already?
We did. We rifled through your underwear.
That's cool.
That's
Very
not a
cool.
problem.
That's all right. Did you try anything on, or is
I don't really want to talk about it right now, Joe, but
I'll look at the video.
This is Madden's 43-foot, 450 horsepower Cousin Eddie, named in honor of Randy Quaid's classic character in Christmas Vacation.
This actually throws out heat. Like, I'll just put them, I'll sit here at night, pop the fireplace.
Come on.
It's nice. Convection oven plus a microwave. Wash your dishes right in here. Boom, boom. If you want some privacy. Boom. Atta boy. See, you tried to do it, you did it.
During spring training, Madden spends his days at the ballpark and as much time as possible with his family.
Do you like Tyler's shirt?
It's been nice for me and my sister, but it's fantastic. It's been absolutely wonderful for all the grandkids.
When he's in a fraternity someday, that's going to be, like, very popular. Trey, never lose that ability, buddy.
You never know.
That is absurd. Yes, honey.
Stop, bud.
Toast the Cubs?
No.
Pearl's toasting the Cubs. Yay!
Please welcome the manager, Joe Madden.
There are 2 rooting sections for Madden's Cubs, the one at Wrigley and the one 679 miles away at the Hazleton One Community Center.
There are 2,000 people a week that come through the doors of this community center.
Seeing what he's doing for our community, bringing people together, wanting kids to get along, it's amazing.
How could you not be so proud of him?
Everything he has, he worked for on his own. Hard, he did it all on his own.
Little by little, win by win, Madden has won over Cubs Nation.
People know when something special going on, when magic is starting to brew, and that's what we got to try to create.
Christmas Vacation reference. How good is that? Time for a high-strength performance brought to you by Chevy. Joe Madden showed up on the north side. High expectations. He has not disappointed. In his first season with the Cubs, they've improved by 17 games to this point. They've got a 5-game cushion for the second wild card spot in the National League. Tim, they're on pace to win 92 games this year. And Joe Madden is doing it again. He did it with Tampa. He's doing it in Chicago.
Right, but he's doing it the same way. He's bringing in props, and he's trying to get his players to relax, which is his big thing. He talked about the magician. I was there when the magician was there, and they had a couple of his players down in the batting cage, and he had somebody go fetch him and say, come on, you got to get out of the cage. You got to see this magician. He's tremendous. We also saw the boa constrictor, 25 feet long. Sadie was the name, and he told the story that he watched his players interact with the snake. And he said, the ones that went right up next to the head, he said, I wondered, maybe I can count on them in the 9th inning of a big game. So I went, wow.
This Cubs team knew they were pretty good going into this year, but when he walked in the door, he brought a credibility with him. And I think they started to go, okay, now we can win this thing.
Yeah, also a little nod to Top Gun. He's got, I feel the need for sleep right now going on for Joe. How great is that? Joe Maddon's bringing up props, everybody, for him. But, Tim, you've been to Hazleton as well, so you can appreciate that journey that he's taken, how he gives back to that community.
Right. I knew all those people in that piece. I met every one of them when I went there to speak last December and be a part of this. That hometown was in big trouble, and Joe Maddon said, I had to do something here. So he helped take a grammar school and turn it into a club place where kids can go do all sorts of things, including play basketball. And he has really helped revive that town. And I said, Joe, where did you live in relation to where we are right now? He said, right over there, like right down the street. So this is really his hometown.
Remarkable guy, two-time AL Manager of the Year, doing wonders again with the Chicago Cubs. We'll see if the Cubs can pull off some magic tonight against the LA Dodgers. Still to come here on Baseball Tonight, Sunday Night Countdown, the Little League World Series Championship Final. High-scoring affair between Japan and Pennsylvania. Follow your favorite team and players all season with MLB.com @BAT, the #1 app for live baseball. @BAT is up to the moment at any moment with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, StatCast, and more. Get MLB.com @BAT now.
There are two cages in this room. The one on your right is made out of high-strength steel, and the other is made of aluminum. Now I'm going to release a 700-pound grizzly bear, so pick a cage and get in it.
Well, I'm glad I picked this cage.
Why did you pick the steel cage?
That's a big animal right there.
You want to see something else made with high-strength steel? That's the Chevy Silverado, made with high-strength steel for high-strength dependability.
It's beautiful. Look at the size of his head.
If you have moderate to severe rheumatoid arthritis like me, and you're talking to a rheumatologist about a biologic, this is Humira. This is Humira, helping to relieve my pain and protect my joints from further damage. This is Humira, helping me reach for more. Doctors have been prescribing Humira for more than 10 years. Humira works for many adults. It targets and helps to block a specific source of inflammation that contributes to RA symptoms.
Humira can lower your ability to fight infections, including tuberculosis. Serious, sometimes fatal infections and cancers, including lymphoma, have happened, as have blood, liver, and nervous system problems, serious allergic reactions, and new or worsening heart failure. Before treatment, get tested for TB. Tell your doctor if you've been to areas where certain fungal infections are common, and if you've had TB, hepatitis B, are prone to infections, or have flu-like symptoms or sores. Don't start Humira if you have an infection.
Talk to your doctor and visit Humira.com. This is Humira at Work.
This is the feeling of turning a game you love into a lifetime of cash. DraftKings.com, the daily fantasy baseball destination, is giving away over $300 million this baseball season. And the games are one day, so you can play for your share every single day. Just pick your sport, pick your players, and pick up your cash. Step up to the plate at DraftKings.com. Play with promo code MOUND and get free entry in our daily contests. Get to DraftKings.com.
Caution. Fiery chicken fries have arrived at Burger King. Seasoned with a combination of spices that'll make your mouth cry. Introducing fiery chicken fries, only at Burger King.
You do all this research on the perfect car. Gas mileage, horsepower, torque ratios. 3 spreadsheets later, you finally bring home the one. Then smash it into a tree. Your insurance company's all too happy to raise your rates. Maybe you should have done a little more research on them.
For drivers with accident forgiveness, Liberty Mutual won't raise your rates due to your first accident. See car insurance in a whole new light. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
We're talking about a Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig type year with the numbers. Yeah. We almost can't comprehend the year he's having because it's so great.
What's great to see is that the nation is finally catching on.
Paul Goldschmidt is what everyone says he is. He's a leader of this team, MVP candidate.
The way that he just goes about his business, he doesn't want any of the spotlight. He's very humble, and he's the most prepared guy that's going to be on the field each and every day.
Going out for date night with your man is nice.
But I think women would agree. Snuggling up after is kind of nice, too. But here's the thing. About half of men over 40 have some degree of erectile dysfunction. Well, Viagra helps guys with ED get and keep an erection.
Ask your doctor if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Viagra if you take nitrates for chest pain. It may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Side effects include headache, flushing, upset stomach, and abnormal vision. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. Stop taking Viagra and call your doctor right away if you experience a sudden decrease or loss in vision or hearing.
Ask your doctor about Viagra.
Now available in new single packs.
You're watching Baseball Tonight, Sunday Night Countdown, presented by Chevrolet.
Can someone do it and show me how it's done? Wow, that's way faster than he ended up in the bushes. Here we go. If it wasn't for these gallant kids, I'd be in a lot of trouble right now.
There was plenty of gallantry in the air in central Pennsylvania. More on Tim's experience going down the hill. But first, the Little League World Series championship game between Japan and Pennsylvania. Bottom of the first, Pennsylvania's up 3-2, and it's Dylan Rodenhaber off of Masafugi Nishijima. Grand slam. Pennsylvania's up 7-2.
I mean, these kids are throwing their arms up right away, going 50 feet over the fence to the opposite field. The power display in this year's Little League World Series, truly impressive.
It was amazing. We saw a kid hit a ball 380 feet and a bunch more over 300 feet, and just a ton of them leaving the park. Opposite field also, just like this one.
So Pennsylvania was up 10-2. That's Yugo Aoki. Then it's Kengo Tomita. Japan is now down 10-6, and they keep on coming. Kengo's brother, it's Shingo Tomita. Japan pulling within 3 runs with 3 swings of the bat. Later in the inning, Nishijima, the line drive to center will get to the wall. Both runners score. Japan is now down just 10-9.
The approach is that good teams in this tournament seem to just work the opposite field the entire time. The ability to drive the ball the other way with authority. Another one here. Remarkable. That's Shingo Tomita, second home run of the game. I think those fences might be going back a little bit.
Yeah, 225 seems a little generous. You're right.
I scoff at that 220.
Nishijima, a 3-run home run, and Japan's up 13-10. So to the bottom of the 6th, Pennsylvania down 18-11. The home crowds were electrifying all week long, but they're down their final out. It'll be up to Caden Pfeiffer, and he'll ground out to short to end the game. Japan trailed 10-2, scored 16 runs the rest of the game, the largest comeback in a Little League World Series title game. Congrats to them on a marvelous performance, and certainly congrats to all the volunteers there and all the people put on a phenomenal job. The 3 of us were there for Baseball Tonight. Tim, it really was a joy for all of us.
It was great. It was the most fun times I've ever had, and I was mostly struck by the skillful play of those middle infielders. We saw the Japanese shortstop with that play to end the game. All of them were like that, and we know now why with the Japanese team. I looked at their workout schedule for Sunday. They worked out from 9 to 6. 9 to 9:30 they stretched. 9:30 to 12 they took infield for 2.5 hours.
I was with Mark Ellis this week, the really good player, and I said, you know, the second baseman for Japan, he made plays like you would make them. Right. And then their shortstop looked like J.J. Hardy coming in with the transfers and everything. You know, I've been watching that since I was 8 years old, and I wanted to go to the Williamsport when I got to Little League so bad. So to finally get there this year, driving up on the compound there, awesome setting, and they do an amazing job, and it's an amazing event.
Everything there was bigger and better than I thought it was going to be, including the players, and that struck me the most. These are 12-year-olds doing this. Really impressive.
As you said, Cole Wagner, the best 12-year-old you've ever seen.
He crushed me, I know that.
Now time for the guys calling the game, and I know Dan Shulman dominated in Little League back in Thornhill, Ontario. Dan, over to you.
All right, Adnan, thank you. Welcome to Dodger Stadium. It is a hot day today. Mid-afternoon, moving into late afternoon as the Dodgers try to complete a sweep of the Chicago Cubs. Two teams with October in their sights. Welcome to L.A., Dan Shulman, John Kruk, and welcoming Jessica Mendoza to the booth with us here tonight. A few days ago, these were two teams that seemed to be heading in opposite directions, and then they both reversed course. Now the Cubs have lost 4 in a row. The Dodgers have won 5 in a row. The good news for the Cubs, though, Jess, is they've got arguably their best pitcher on the mound tonight.
Best pitcher, and I think one of the most elite pitchers in all of baseball right now. I mean, he's someone who has just been dominant his last 13 starts. And then you look at him just the month of August. He's going for his 6th win tonight. He's got a .054 ERA. He has been just nasty. Now, what I like about him is the fact that he's got 3+ pitches, including that slider that I think is one of the most effective pitches in all of baseball.
Yeah, throws it anywhere from 86 to 92. We'll talk about that pitch a lot tonight. We'll also talk a lot about the Dodgers and how they're doing recently. They've struggled against good teams so far this year, but they've beaten the Cubs the last 2 days.
Yeah, and no coincidence that when Clayton Kershaw opened his mouth and said, you know what, I don't think it's time to panic, but we have to have a sense of urgency. When your best player says it, it means something. When it's a pitcher, most of the time it doesn't. But Clayton Kershaw is their best player. And I would imagine in that clubhouse, and Don Mattingly even said it, when he speaks, they listen. And as you can see, they've won the first 2 games in this series against the Cubs, 5 in a row, and they put some distance between them and the Giants for right now because the Cardinals have been taking care of the Giants. But when Clayton Kershaw talks, you better listen, because when your best player says it, the guy works harder than anyone, like Mattingly says. Yep. He said you better take it to heart, and they have.
And let's not forget, tomorrow night, kind of a big series. The San Francisco Giants come to L.A. for 3. The Dodgers will return the favor with 4 in San Francisco in the last week of the regular season. It is hot, it is sunny, and it is almost time for baseball here at Dodger Stadium. The Cubs and Dodgers coming up, Adnan, on Sunday Night Baseball.
All right, Dan, Jess, Krucky, thank you very much. Looking forward to that game coming up just 25 minutes from now. As for Edwin Encarnacion, what did he do for an encore after 3 home runs and 9 RBI on Saturday? Maybe another hat trick. We'll tell you coming up. Once again, Cubs and Dodgers. Jake Arrieta has been great trying to turn things around for the Cubs and pick up a win against L.A.
Dudes, you know, been a couple of A-plus roommates. And I hate to do this because you guys have been cool with everything. You're cool with my band. You're cool with that English accent phase. Remember that?
We're literally out to milk.
And that theater troupe.
Rain down up. Hey, could you give me a second, please?
But State Farm's helped me be really smart with my money, and I got my own pet now. Oh, no big deal. Mom, Dad, my new place doesn't allow pets. Dylan's gonna have to stay here. One love, Pops.
Start out right in life. With everything from renter's insurance to your first bank account, State Farm is there.
Stay ahead of engine threats with new Shell V Power Nitro Plus Premium Gasoline. Unbeatable protection against gunk and corrosion. And superior protection against wear. For the best total engine protection you can get.
Jess, you got a boombox? I made a sweet mixtape for you.
Oh, no, I don't. Sorry, Clark.
Oh, Jess, you really got to get with the times.
Okay, well, why don't you try this?
Oh, boxed wine, as if.
It's great boxed wine. On tap whenever you want. The Naked Grape, total game changer.
Whoa, that is fresh to the max.
Welcome to the future, Clark. It's time for delicious premium wine that comes from a box. It's time to try the Naked Grape.
Is this the transporter?
You're gonna make me late. You do realize I sit in traffic for a living? Is that what you do?
The transporter refueled in PG-13, September 4th.
At Outback, steak and unlimited shrimp is back for just $15.99 for a limited time. Try unlimited garlic herb butter or crispy shrimp for just $15.99. And let the bold flavors speak for themselves with unlimited shrimp at Outback.
This is the feeling of turning a game you love into a lifetime of cash. DraftKings.com, the daily fantasy baseball destination, is giving away over $300 million this baseball season. And the games are one day, so you can play for your share every single day. Just pick your sport, pick your players, and pick up your cash. Step up to the plate at DraftKings.com. Play with promo code MOUND and get free entry in our daily contests. Get to DraftKings.com.
We saw this family and this little guy have a little bit of fun with Hunter Pence, and Hunter Pence acknowledged that good little Giants fan with his mom and dad, and we found a baseball. If you see that smile on the whole family, then that was the right thing to do.
When seasonal allergies affect you, choose Affadil, the only...
Man, I really need to start our Commercial Actors Fantasy Football League. ESPN makes it so easy. If I don't do it, Jeremy, the restaurant commercial actor, will. He can't be commish. He overthinks more than Seattle at the goal line.
Cut! Who's my character? Is she my girlfriend? Is she my girlfriend? Who are these people to me?
I have to run our league.
Start your league with ESPN. If you don't, someone else will.
Let's grab one-handed phone and Bevy in the other.
He should give the ball to the lady, but he's not going to give it up.
Aha.
That's nice.
There you go. Oh, boy. Oh no.
And they made friends.
Yes, how about that?
Now they're chatting.
This is what it looks like when real people
Get there! Oh!
win $1 million playing fantasy football. And now that football is back at DraftKings.com, the one-week fantasy sports destination, you could get your share of $10 million week 1. Just pick your sport, pick your players, and pick up your cash. That's it. It's the simplest way to win life-changing piles of cash every week. Play with promo code LEGEND and get free entry in our $10 million Millionaire Maker event week 1. Winner gets $2 million. More sports, more winners, more millionaires. Get to DraftKings.com now.
You're watching Baseball Tonight, Sunday Night Countdown presented by Chevrolet.
The stadium itself is just awesome, and the crowd, I mean, just everything about it, makes you want to be a part of it for a long time.
I love it. It's nostalgic there, and it's definitely one of my favorite places to play.
For me, Dodger Stadium is really special. I got my first career hit there.
The history of Dodger Stadium, it's one of my favorite places to play.
And Aaron Boone's favorite place to hit, as he had told me many a time. The backdrop, you can't deny it, right, Tony?
Tremendous.
Jake Arrieta trying to go 6-0. The last guy to do that in a calendar month of the Cubs, Carlos Zambrano in July of 2006. We'll see what happens just about 20 minutes from now. Tigers and the Jays, Edwin Encarnacion. How do you follow up a 3-home run, 9 RBI game? First at bat, deep to right and gone. 30th home run of the season.
Well, that's something we're seeing him do more, is use the entire field with that power. He's always been a pull power guy, tremendous pull power, but more often than not this year, we've seen him start to move the ball the opposite field, almost hit another one, just kind of laps it off.
Would have been 4 homers and 4 at-bats.
So he goes 2 for 3. Don't forget about the other hitters in the Jays lineup. That's Josh Donaldson. He's got to be the MVP, Timmy. 36 home runs.
Right. I think he's moved ahead of Mike Trout. It'll all depend where they end up in the standings, but they win the division.
Right now, he's definitely
the MVP.
Kevin Pillar, 9th home run of the season. That is a 2-run shot. Then the bottom of the 4th, it's Russell Martin, 17 home runs.
Wasn't that bad of a pitch. That was a 2-seamer moving in, maybe in off the plate, able to get the barrel of the bat to it, and we know it carries there.
Offense is ridiculous.
I'm surprised he didn't get 10. They get 10 every night.
Exactly. 9-2 was the final. And now it's time for a little Statcast powered by Amazon Web Services. Look at that play specifically, Aaron, the arm strength and the exchange.
Well, another reason why he's probably the MVP right now is his outstanding defense at third base. And third base is so much, as it is a lot of other positions, but especially third, that first step quickness. And being in a position when that ball gets in the hitting zone to move properly, he got a great jump on that ball. And with Miguel Cabrera running, once he caught it, he knew with his strong arm it was going to be an easy play.
To the Yankees and the Braves, Alex Rodriguez pinch hitting with the bases loaded, 2-run score. Yankees up 10-5. Later in the inning, Yankees doing damage with 2 outs. They're trying to hang pace with these Blue Jays. It's Brett Gardner, base to left. Yankees up 11-5.
And they're trying to outscore the Japanese team today, too.
You're right about that, Timmy. 2 batters later, Brian McCann with the bases loaded. 2 more score. Yankees up 13-5.
Look, the offense has been one of the real strengths for the Yankees. It hasn't been as dynamic the last month, So maybe this is something that can get them going offensively like they have been much of the year going into the final month of the season.
Steven drew 4 hits today, and that puts him over 200 for the season. He's got 15, 16 home runs. He's had an interesting year.
He has. Chase Headley, 3 for 3, a 2-run home run, 4 RBI. Yankees up 16-5 at that point. To the 8th inning, it's pitcher Brandon Pinder at the plate.
Yeah, why not?
He'll swipe right, collecting his first career hit and RBI as Gardner scores.
What is swipe right?
Reference to Tinder, which is another issue.
Oh.
The next batter is D.D. Gregorius, as even he will contribute as well. The base hit through the left side. McCann scores. The Yankees put up 20.
D.D. Gregorius has become the player the Yankees hope. After struggling that first month of the season offensively and defensively, he's been outstanding defensively and starting to be that hitter they hope.
20-6 the final. The ladies are screaming right now. Zach Mariner is in the building. Baseball Tonight researcher. Zach, talk to me about this Jays-Yankees race.
Well, they still have 6 games left to go this season against each other. They'll meet in Yankee Stadium late next week. But you know better than anybody, this has been a fun season for Jays fans. They haven't led the AL East this late in the year since 1993, which was, of course, the last time they reached the postseason and the last time they won the World Series.
All right, ladies can calm down now. Zach has had his say. Who do you like down the stretch between the Jays or the Yankees? Both these teams right now are playing really well.
Well, I have the Blue Jays #2 in the power ranking for a reason, because I think they're one of maybe the best team in Major League Baseball right now. You know, they've shored up all their issues. They've got a bona fide ace now at the top of that rotation. They bludgeon you offensively. We don't talk a lot about how good they are defensively, but it's a very good defensive team, and the bullpen now has settled in. They're a complete team, and I think they're going to be very difficult to catch for the Yankees down the stretch, especially the way they're playing right now.
And we talk a lot about David Price, as we should, but until his last start, R.A. Dickey had been really good. Mark Burley has 7 walks since the All-Star break. He's looking like the Mark Burley of his prime. So you put all that together on top of that offense, 21 times, 10 or more runs this year, by far the most in Major League Baseball.
The Blue Jays have not been in first place this late in the season since 1993, when, of course, they won the World Series. Fingers crossed for those north of the border. Still to come here, the Astros and the Twins. Bottom of the 7th, Eduardo Escobar, the ground rule double into center off Chad Qualls. Brian Dozier scores. Twins up 4-0.
By the way, the Twins?
Yeah.
Go away. Yeah, we're ready to write them off constantly.
You're right.
I certainly am.
I'm in now.
And they keep hanging in there. Look, this is a huge series against a very good Houston team. Here they come.
Joe Mauer, the RBI single. Twins up 5-0. Miguel Sano, Booney. He's got 13 home runs.
You know what? Starting next year, I think he can buckle up for 40 home runs a season for the next decade. It's unbelievable power. It's a simple, short swing. That guy's a beast.
Right, last 12 games, 6 homers, 15 RBIs for Miguel Sano. You're right, Boone.
What a difference maker he has been. Also, what happened with regards to the Rangers and Derek Holland? He owned the inside corner, Tim, of the plate.
Right, no walks, 11 strikeouts for Holland. Aaron, how important is this?
Well,
right, they're in the race and they add him. It's like making a great trade.
Talk about a complete team now. I mean, as good as Gallardo and Colby Lewis has been and Cole Hamels, now they've got a real pitching staff all of a sudden. They've shored up the bullpen, which was an issue for them much of the year. We know about the offense. This Texas team is a scary team if Derek Holland now is pitching like he did today. That slider was on board, and because he was able to work that inside part of the plate with the fastball, then get the swings and misses like that on the slider, he was dominant today and clearly all the way back and healthy.
And that's 116 pitches for him today, which is it's a big workload, and he was able to handle
11 strikeouts, was it?
No walks, 11 strikeouts.
You're a stud if you go 11-0. You don't luck into that outcome.
Right.
And you look at like a week ago, and all these teams were kind of clustered together, and you go, all right, could be really interesting here in the wildcard race. Now we're starting to see some real separation. And you're right, Aaron. I want to talk more about Minnesota, because it looked like that whole first half was an aberration. Reality would set in. They started to stumble a bit. Now they're right back in it.
I still think reality's going to set in. I don't think they're going to be in that final, but man, they keep hanging around, and they keep hanging around with good teams. Beating Houston today was huge.
If you're skeptical of Minnesota, then, do you believe more in Texas?
I do. I'm way coming around. I said Houston. I meant.
No, I know.
And just to show you how things have changed, 2 weeks ago we did this thing. We had the Orioles win.
Yeah, both you guys like Baltimore.
And they're not even on the list right now. It just shows you how quickly things can change in these wild cards.
Yeah, well, I had the Mariners and the Nats playing in the World Series before the year, so how'd that work out?
Yeah, a lot of us were wrong on that one. What's happened to the Angels now? They're a 500 team.
They're just not very good offensively, and that was the one issue I think a lot of us thought going into the season was how was the supporting cast going to be around Pujols, Trout, even Calhoun to a degree. And honestly, it hasn't been very good. The pitching's been decent, but not great. Look, I just don't think they're as good as some of the other teams right now, and I think it's showing.
They're a 500 team. They're 11th in the league in runs scored. Trout got 4 hits today, but he's going to have to get red hot, as is Pujols, if they're going to have any chance to win the wild card.
Yeah, 32 games left in the season. There's not much time left for the Angels or the rest of these teams. Lots more coming up here on Baseball Tonight. Sunday night countdown, including some web jams. Great plays from around the diamond. Yours to enjoy and debate and vote on Twitter when we come back. Yeah, a little Little League there as well. We'll be making an appearance. And also, do not forget, as always, you want to check out tickets, MLB.com/tickets. The best seats in every ballpark for every game. Visit MLB.com/tickets today.
The most dangerous place to make a decision is in the office. Today, I run most of my business from the phone. This allows you to take the decision exactly at the point where it matters. We have literally billions of transactions every day. And with the Salesforce One platform, everything is connected, collaborative, and mobile. We are onto something very, very special. Some could call it a secret formula.
I live in Polo Grounds in Harlem. We used to hear like gunshots every night. I lost my mom this year, January, and I lost my dad when I was 12.
Just makes me think how lucky I am that I had Harlem Lacrosse to save me.
Me and my team, like, we all go through problems, but when we go on the field, like, we all forget that.
I just started realizing, like, all the opportunities that Harlem Lacrosse gave me.
They want us to make it into college and, like, do something with our life.
If we remember who we are and where we come from, we're gonna win this game.
It became like a getaway for me. Like when I'm on the field, I just like worry about lacrosse.
What do I want to be when I grow up? I don't know. There's so many things that I could be.
Ozzy, give me the ketchup, please.
Right there.
Make dinner happier with the great taste of Heinz.
Happy sponsor of Little League.
This is the feeling of turning a game you love into a lifetime of cash. DraftKings.com, the daily fantasy baseball destination, is giving away over $300 million this baseball season. And the games are one day, so you can play for your share every single day. Just pick your sport, pick your players, and pick up your cash. Step up to the plate at DraftKings.com. Play with promo code MOUND and get free entry in our daily contests. Get to DraftKings.com.
Scott Danshaw was never afraid of a good dare, or even a double dare. We have 3 more dares for you. Mild Chipotle, Hot Habanero, and Fiery Ghost Pepper. Taco Bell's new $1 Daredevil Loaded Grillers.
You pay your auto insurance premium every month on the dot. You're like the poster child for paying on time. And then one day, you tap the bumper of a station wagon. No big deal, until your insurance company jacks up your rates. You freak out. What good is having insurance if you get punished for using it? Hey, insurance companies, newsflash. Nobody's perfect.
For drivers with accident forgiveness, Liberty Mutual won't raise your rates due to your first accident. See car insurance in a whole new light. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Welcome to Queens, New York, home of the biggest major in tennis.
New York-style tennis. Wear what you want, say what you want, take what you want. We're playing in the heat of the day and the loud of the night. The rich and famous courtside, jets, buzzing the joint, and the turns-up crowd of 24,000 telling you exactly how you're doing. Let's do this thing and see who's got the biggest game in the big bad city. Which side are you on?
The U.S. Open Championships begin tomorrow, only on ESPN.
As we continue here on Baseball Tonight, Sunday Night Countdown is presented by Chevrolet. Find new roads. Aaron Boone and Monday Night Baseball, Yankees and Red Sox, Monday, 7 o'clock Eastern on ESPN, the Watch ESPN app.
Headed up there tonight, Adney.
Oh, that's great. Look forward to that, Boone. A little chowder perhaps on the menu for you. And on Wednesday Night Baseball, the Nationals take on the Cardinals. Rick Sutcliffe, who you'll see in studio momentarily. Wednesday, 8 Eastern. Make sure you join us for the game. Speaking of those Nationals, let's see how they fared. Washington with Steven Strasburg on the hill, trying to close up the series against the Marlins. Top of the first. Watch where Wilson Ramos sits up behind the plate, Booney. Call for the pitch inside. Strasburg missed his spot. Justin Bour, 14th home run.
Well, Bour, we've seen with that tremendous power. You miss spot with the fastball. And when it's that running fastball that's flat out over the plate, those are the balls, especially that left-handers, tend to do a lot of damage with. It cost him today.
Strasburg left after 4 innings and 60 pitches due to discomfort in his upper back. Bottom of the 5th, that's Jason Worth, Tim.
You know, he had been throwing so well, and now it looks like it could be a minor setback, but it's another setback. They need to win this game. They need him to pitch as often as possible because he's been so good lately, and they didn't get it today.
How about that 2-out hitting by Bryce Harper? Slider down the way, 2 outs, 2 strikes, just shoots it the other way. Huge hit to tie the score.
Ian Desmond up the middle. Bryce Harper scores from third. The Nationals win it 7-4 as they move 3 games over 500. Could they gain any ground on those New York Mets? Hosting the Red Sox, bottom of the 7th, tied at 4. Michael Kadire, Tim, the base hit to left.
Right, again, Booney was talking about all the pieces that they have, all the options that Terry Collins has. He didn't have any options a month ago. Now he's got 5 or 6 guys he can move around.
And the Mets doing the little things. Murphy stole second base, just his second of the year, to set up that big hit by Kadire.
2 on, none out. Top of the 9th for Jiris Familia. Gets Alejandro Diaz to strike out swinging. The next batter is Travis Shaw. He'll ground to short. Blake Swihart is out at second. Murphy can't get the throw off in time.
You know, and all those runs that they're scoring are not going to mean that much if they can't close it in the 9th, and that's where this guy has to be better than he's been lately, and he was today.
ABC always be closing 100 miles an hour, getting Mookie Betts as the Mets win it 5-4. Time now for a little defensive excellence. Jam it up with some web gems. Put together by our friend Kevin Fallon today, speaking of the Mets. Number 5 is Lewisburg, Pennsylvania. Little League's daily worked sliding catch.
And I can't say it enough how skilled these kids were defensively. It's one thing to hit it farther than anyone or be a big kid that can throw hard. The defensive excellence is what stood out for me.
Number 4, Booney, MVP, Josh Donaldson.
MVP of the league at this point, outstanding rage. A big reason why is that tremendous D to go along with a monster offensive season.
Booney in the celebrity softball game.
Oh, that's great. He had that great pick at third. You're right.
Yeah.
Number 3, David Murphy. Abraham Almonte, the liner left. Murphy diving catch.
That's a really good play. You look up, he's on the dead run. He had to take a perfect route, diving head on. Outfielders will tell you that's as tough as it is. Great play.
Lewisburg, Pennsylvania's Zach Soy. His coach actually calls him Soup because he plays hockey. The jersey was bunched up and Soy looked like soup. Well, this one's in the soup. Diving catch. And a great play there made by Zach. Number 1 is a pitcher gem, Wade Miley. David right the ground. Look at Miley go behind the back. Oh, he's just being Miley.
Just knowing where you are on the diamond, knowing how hard it's hit, sitting down in his legs, kind of having a feel. That's more good than it was lucky.
Vote for your favorite one on Twitter at BBTN. Oral Hershiser, they call him the Bulldog. Aaron Boone and his great impressions. This is a beauty.
All right.
Okay, you got to do Sud. He's the best on the Cubs. Let's see Sud. Watch this.
Look at the strut there. That is just. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Watch him curl it. Yes!
Like curl around, yeah, and bam! Here it comes. Oh, there we go. Look at the
Good
hinge.
job, little buddy.
No, go.
Hey, nice going. Way to not mess up my shutout.
Thanks a lot, son. Appreciate it.
Less of me means more of you, son.
That's right.
That'd be his country song. If he could sing one, he would.
The oral Hershiser is absolutely perfect. The bulldog.
Scrunching up from the shoulders. Give us the face again. Give us a close-up, Benny. Look at that. Look at
the bulldog.
Unbelievable. For Aaron Boone, Tim Kirkshire, I'm Adnan Berg. Make sure you enjoy the Cubs and the Dodgers. Jessica Mendoza, John Kruk. Here's Dan Shulman.
It is amazing there are enough hours in the day for Aaron Boone to be Aaron Boone. Great stuff, guys, and welcome to Los Angeles and welcome to Sunday Night Baseball presented by Taco Bell on a hot afternoon here in L.A. as the Dodgers look to close out the Cubs, try to sweep the Cubs. Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN from Dodger Stadium. The Dodgers have won 5 in a row. They've got a bit of a cushion right now on the San Francisco Giants, but it's the Giants who are coming to town for a 3-game series beginning tomorrow night. That is never dull. As for the Chicago Cubs, they seem pretty safely in a playoff spot right now. They're in the second wild card position, and they're 5 games up on the Giants. So both of these teams want to keep the Giants in their rearview mirror between now and the end of the regular season. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Los Angeles. Dan Shulman, John Kruk, and joined by Jessica Mendoza tonight for Sunday Night Baseball. Krucky, let's start with you and the Dodgers. I think everybody would agree they've had kind of an up-and-down season, but here they are in first place, winners of 5 in a row. What do you see?
Yeah, a couple weeks ago in Pittsburgh, we said we don't know what this team is, and I don't think we still do. But we do know that someone stepped up and made some comments that the rest of the guys took to heart, and that's Clayton Kershaw. When he said, look, I don't want to say panic, but we need to have a sense of urgency. When a pitcher says it, you take it with a grain of salt, like we do with some people we work with here when they say something. But when it's a pitcher of his ilk and the hardest worker on the team and your best player, you listen. He said it. They've won 5 in a row, and it seems to be working right now for the Dodgers.
And speaking of Clayton Kershaw, he's standing by live with Buster Olney.
Clayton, you said recently there needs to be a sense of urgency for the Dodgers. Since you said that, what have you seen in this team?
I don't know if they heard me or what, but we've won 5 in a row, so I'm going to call it a coincidence. But, you know, we've played good baseball the last 5 games, and it's been fun to watch.
You like to watch the games when you're not pitching. What do you see in Jake Arrieta, who starts for the Cubs tonight?
Yeah, I mean, we saw him in Baltimore a few years ago, and we said he's got some of the nastiest stuff we've ever seen. And this year it just feels like he's figured it out, throwing strikes with all his pitches, and it's still pretty nasty. So we got a tough test for us tonight.
Clayton, thanks. Dan, back to you.
Hi, Buster. Thank you. There's Clayton Kershaw's analysis of Jake Arrieta. Just what do you see?
You know, he's one of the most elite pitchers in all of baseball right now, and I think what you see specifically is the fact that he's got 3+ pitches, particularly that slider. So nasty. And this is a guy in August that's just gotten even hotter. He's got a .054 ERA, but going back to that slider, it's between 86 and 92 miles an hour. He can throw it horizontally, he can throw it vertically, and guys, against lefties, Kershaw just said it best. He has been just nasty. They're hitting $1.76 against him.
16 wins on the season, tied with Madison Bumgarner for the Major League lead. The Cubs are looking to end this road trip on a winning note. 1-4 so far on the trip, heading home to face the Reds tomorrow night. Can Arrieta and the Cubs defeat the Dodgers here tonight? First pitch is coming up.
Scott Danshaw was never afraid of a good dare. Or even a double dare. A dare made him a legend at Brunner Valley High. And a pro basketball player for 10 seconds. Scott Danshaw, we have 3 more dares for you. Mild chipotle, hot habanero, and fiery ghost pepper. Taco Bell's new $1 Daredevil loaded grillers. Try all 3 if you dare.
There are 2 cages in this room. The one on your right is made out of high-strength steel, and the other is made of aluminum. Now I'm going to release a 700-pound grizzly bear, so pick a cage and get in it.
Well, I'm glad I picked this cage.
Why did you pick the steel cage?
That's a big animal right there.
You want to see something else made with high-strength steel? That's the Chevy Silverado, made with high-strength steel for high-strength dependability.
It's beautiful. Look at the size of his head.
Is this the transporter?
Seatbelts now.
Your client stole from me.
That's not my problem.
It is now.
You're gonna need more men.
Willie told me take it by storm. Get the money in it. Bring the prize home.
Transporter refuel, rated PG-13, September 4th.
Good morning, team. Morning, sir. Here at Rent.com, we take our own HD photos and create our own 3D floor plans. Oh, my team. So what you see here is what you'll see here. Take it from me, Legitimaster. Nice room. What? Oh, no HD. No HD. Rent.com, 3D floor plans, HD photos, and it's all legit. I'm wet. That's not legit.
After I played FanDuel the first time, I was hooked.
People are going crazy for these one-week fantasy football leagues at FanDuel.com.
With FanDuel, there's no season-long commitment.
FanDuel lets you play in one-week fantasy football leagues for real money.
Assembling the ideal team on FanDuel is a blast.
Try FanDuel today, and we'll match your first deposit up to $200.
On FanDuel, I've won over $62,000.
Go to FanDuel.com, click on the microphone to get a bonus of up to $200. Enter promo code CURL4. That's promo code CURL4.
Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN is presented by Taco Bell's new $1 Daredevil Loaded Grillers. Try all three if you dare. And in part by Chevrolet. Find new roads. And the Microsoft Cloud, empowering business. Late afternoon start here in Los Angeles. Not a cloud in the sky on this warm day as the Dodgers get set to host the Chicago Cubs. The Cubs are 73-55 on the season, and Joe Maddon keeps saying what he said since spring training. Why not us? Why aren't we good enough to win? He feels fine about his team. They're in a playoff position right now, but they have lost 4 in a row, and they've only scored 6 runs in those 4 games. Let's take a look at their starting lineup right now, presented by Taco Bell. He doesn't get a lot of attention because the young kids, the rookies, are getting so much attention, but Dexter Fowler's been a pretty important player for the Chicago Cubs this year. And speaking of rookies, Jess, Kris Bryant just might win Rookie of the Year in the National League.
Oh, because he has such an explosive swing with that bat speed. Just the last 7 games, 346 and 3 home runs.
On the mound tonight for the Dodgers, Krucky, left-hander Alex Wood, one of the players they picked up just before the deadline from Atlanta.
Yeah, and they need someone to step in behind Kershaw and Greinke to solidify a spot in this rotation. Alex Wood is a guy like every other pitcher. Fastball command is huge with him, but Don Mattingly told us once he gets to the 3rd time through the order, the numbers spike dramatically. Let's see if he can get to that 3rd time in the order and what Mattingly does with him when he gets there.
Big crowd again here at Dodger Stadium. They just went over the 3 million mark. First team to do that this year. Don Mattingly, the manager on the left. Rick Honeycutt, the pitching coach on the right. 5th season as the manager of the Dodgers for Donnie Baseball. And a team that's been in the postseason the last couple of years. They have made moves. They have a new management team. Andrew Friedman now is the president of the Dodgers. They have spent a ton of money, to say the least. They're in a good spot to head to the postseason if they can play well in September. But it still feels, Kruk, even though they've won 5 in a row right now, like they're still kind of finding out about themselves as a baseball team right now.
Yeah, you know, most teams at this time of year, okay, this is our lineup, this is what we're going with. The Dodgers don't have that. When Howie Kendrick comes back, talk about Chase Utley going to 3rd base. When Yasiel Puig comes back, does Andre Ethier lose some playing time? Or does Carl Crawford lose some time? They have so many veteran players that are used to playing that once September rolls around, they get the full health. It's going to be difficult for Don Mattingly to keep them all happy.
And again, keep in mind, the Dodgers and Giants have 7 games left against one another through the rest of the season. You're a California kid yourself. You grew up here. Dodger-Giant rivalry, never dull, always exciting.
Oh, yeah, it's hard to even talk about either of those 2 teams in Southern California and not getting into a fight. But that's definitely something locals here know well aware.
Giants are here for 3 beginning tomorrow. The Dodgers in San Francisco for 4 beginning the final Monday of the regular season. We have your typical late afternoon West Coast shadows here as we begin this one. Dexter Fowler, Kristen Orfia, Kris Bryant for the Cubs, and Alex Wood on the mound for the Dodgers. Fowler, a .252 hitter, hitting from his strong side. He's a .321 batter from the right side of the plate. And underway here in LA with the first pitch strike. Pat Hoberg is the home plate umpire tonight. The crew chief Jim Joyce is at first. Greg Gibson at second and Chad Fairchild at third. And the breaking ball runs inside, a ball and a strike. For those who haven't seen Wood, the first thing that kind of jumps off the screen at you is that unusual delivery that he has. More pronounced, I would imagine, for a left-handed batter, which both of you were. Fowler checking on the strike zone as the count goes to 1-2.
Yeah, the first thing you have to do with Alex Wood is you have to figure out, okay, where is his release point? I think you'll see Cubs pitchers take some pitches to get a look at it and see where they have to adjust their eyes to. But, you know, the bottom line is you can do whatever you want, Dan. When the ball leaves his hand, he's just like any other pitcher. You know, you pick up his release point, and that's all you have to really concentrate on.
He's 24 years of age, University of Georgia. Now had a .278 ERA last year. Has not pitched as well this year. He's got a .434 ERA in 5 starts with the Dodgers. Swing and a miss by Fowler. 1 down.
We talked about the fastball command by Alex Wood. Look at this pitch right here up in the strike zone. The fastball up after throwing 2 strikes. One first pitch center of the plate, second one down and away. He got a call to get strike 2, and then he elevates the fastball to Dexter Fowler. And like you said, Dan, the shadow's tough to see. That ball gets on you a lot quicker.
Chris DeNorfia getting the start in right field for the Cubs. Jorge Soler's on the DL with an oblique injury. So Joe Madden kind of mixing and matching a little bit in the outfield. Sometimes Kyle Schwarber is in left, but he is not tonight with a lefty on the mound. Matt Caesar gets the start in left.
Well, I think a huge advantage too for Wood is not only the shadows, but first time through the lineup with the windup you mentioned, Krucky, is them just kind of adapting to that along with Sun to shadow this first time through.
He's been compared a little bit at times just in terms of the delivery with a Chris Sale, a lefty who's got a very unique delivery. If you think of a right-hander like Ubaldo Jimenez, when his arm goes way behind him, as Woods does at that point right there.
It's just all about timing. I mean, I think this is where you utilize being on deck. I mean, a lot of times you see guys on deck and they're talking, they're relaxing, but right now, you know, watching the Cubs, making sure they're getting as close to home plate as possible to simulate that.
And Wood frustrated with himself in the early going as he misses wide for ball 4. And now Rookie of the Year candidate Chris Bryant, who's hitting .366 over his last 11 games. Got 20 homers and 77 RBIs on the season. And an early visit to the mound. Yasmani Grandal going to try to settle down Alex Wood a little bit.
Yeah, never a good thing when the catcher has to go out after 2 hitters. Converse with your pitcher. It might have been a mechanical thing that he noticed, why he was throwing everything away from DeNorfia. Hopefully it was a little suggestion to get him corrected and get him back in the zone.
A very productive rookie season for Bryant, who of course was all the rage back in spring training. Cubs didn't have him up right at the beginning of the year, brought him up midway through April. And that story was front page news all around baseball for several weeks, but he has delivered on his promise so far this season. Also has 12 stolen bases, has improved at third base. And he drills a ball to left field, carrying to the wall. It is gone. Chris Bryant with a line drive into the bleachers to the left, and the Cubs have an early 2-0 lead.
Well, with Alex Wood, Dan, the first batter, he looked like, okay, man, he got something going on against Dexter Fowler. Painting with pitches. DeNorfia couldn't come close. First pitch out over the plate. So what do when you're missing away? You try to make an adjustment and try to come in, and he just didn't get it into Chris Bryant. And that's going to be a familiar sight to National League pitchers for a lot of years to come.
Number 21 on the season for Bryant. Early lead for the Cubs. Anthony Rizzo, the batter. Just a lot of elevation on that swing by Bryant. I mean, Is there such thing as too much of an uppercut? It seems to be working for him.
Well, you know, he's a guy that gets a lot of grief for the amount of strikeouts he has, and a lot of it has to do with his swing, because he has that beautiful path that he's willing to take, and you see where he gets his hands into the zone, middle in pitch. Watch him just get the barrel right to where it needs, and you see that finish, that long, pretty finish. I mean, he's got the bat speed, the swing, so much about him. He's only going to get better.
Yeah. And when you talk about combos, you can envision Bryant and Rizzo, as good as they are and as young as they are, becoming as good a duo as there is in baseball over the next several years. Rizzo hits one past the mound. Rollins behind the bag at second will throw him out 2 down.
Yeah, and how about Kyle Schwarber in that mix too, Dan?
Yep. Schwarber, a guy not in the lineup tonight, again with a lefty on the mound in Wood, but a guy with immense power. Spent a couple of months in the big leagues with the Cubs this year, has a dozen homers. There's Schwarber, can catch, can play left field, and can hit. And at some point, Krucky, Schwarber gets more established. Soler comes back. Baez figures it out and makes it back to the majors on a permanent basis. They got a chance to have some awfully good, awfully young players all on the field at the same time.
Yeah, and that's, you know, there's another one too who's only 25.
Starlin Castro with a base hit to left field. He's been pushed out of the shortstop position. Now is really a utility guy, part-time second baseman.
Well,
solid single.
Sorry, Dan, but Alex Wood doesn't have the stuff to keep throwing the ball down the center of the plate, and that's what he did right there. You know, even after Bryant hit the home run, the first pitch to Rizzo was a pitch that Rizzo normally drives to left center field, and he took it for a strike. But you know, if he stays over the center of the plate like this and can hit corners, and I talked about getting through the third time of the order, he ain't going to get there.
2-0 Cubs off and running here in the top of the first, trying to avoid a sweep. Matt Caesar getting a start in left field, the former Villanova football star, hitting .222. How about this, guys? You know how players with options get sent down, called up, sent down, called up. It's kind of the life of that on the verge of becoming a major leaguer. This is the 7th. He was called up Wednesday. It's the 7th stint with the Cubs this year for Caesar. He's gone down and back up again 7 times this year. Lifts the ball into shallow right, dropping it in for a base hit. And around to third on the play goes Castro.
You got to think where the sun is playing for the right side of this field. And Ethier just did not get a good jump on this. This is his ball all the way, and he hesitates initially. And it's that ball that just kind of finds a spot. Utley does everything he can to go back, but where the ball is located in relation to the sun, Ethier should have been all over it.
Couldn't have hit it any more perfect. Drop it in.
So the inning continues. 2-0 the Cubs lead. Runners on the corners, 2 down. The batter is the catcher Miguel Montero, hitting .230. He's a power threat as well with 14 homers. And a swing and a miss. We saw Rizzo, a left-handed batter, face Wood a little bit earlier. Now Montero. Both of you hit left. What are the challenges here against a guy like Wood?
I think the biggest thing is just the fact that you lose the ball, you know, and what Krucky talked about earlier is just finding the release point, not focusing so much what he does in the windup. You want to follow the ball naturally as a hitter. That gets you on time, and if you lose it even for a second, it can throw you off.
Is there a fear with a guy with a windup like this, like it's going to hit you in the hip or hit you in the ear more so than most lefties?
No, that would be Chris Sale. That would be the fear with him, because he really crossfires and throws 97, 98. You know, one of the best left-handed pitchers in the game. But yeah, you know, with Alex Wood, it's just all the movement.
Slow roller up the first baseline, and Wood on to first in time to end the inning. But Kris Bryant strikes a 2-run line drive homer into the left field bleachers. And trying to end a 4-game losing streak, the Cubs are off to an early 2-0 lead.
When I was 4, I gave Caroline my bone marrow to save her life, and now she's 13 years in remission.
In
the fight against cancer, no one should stand alone. Dine out with your MasterCard, and we'll donate to Stand Up to Cancer, one precious cent at a time, up to $4 million. And show us who you stand up for.
I had cancer when I was 16 before my father got cancer, so it was like looking into a mirror. I stand up for my dad.
We're both happy and healthy, really grateful for everything that's happened to us. She's my miracle.
Because standing up for friends and family is priceless.
Robert from Bloomfield has been using Gillette for years, so he wasn't surprised that our best blades were smooth.
It's very smooth.
Or comfortable.
It's efficient. There's no pull.
Hey! But he was surprised.
Shaving with those blades can save you up to 50%.
Surprise. Compared to the other shave club, Gillette's best blades can save you up to 50%. Join the Gillette Shave Club today.
Very surprising.
Wet 5.
Hey, if you're watching the Cubs and Dodgers, reply using hashtag #RepMyTeam with a picture of how you're supporting your team, and your tweet could wind up on TV tonight. The Dodgers come up in the bottom of the first here on Sunday Night Baseball, already trailing the Cubs 2-0. Don Mattingly, the manager of the Dodgers. Time now to take a look at his lineup tonight, presented by Taco Bell, and it has a distinct Phillies feel at the top of the order, with Jimmy Rollins and Chase Utley hitting 1-2 for the Phillies. Chase Utley is 5 for 25 since he was acquired from the Phillies. And Andre Ethier, who's now going to play more than he was with Puig on the DL. And Kruky, he's been hot. He deserves to play.
Yeah, hitting almost 400 in the month of August, but driving in runs, driving in key runs for the Los Angeles Dodgers, and protecting Adrian Gonzalez in the lineup so he gets better pitches to hit.
He may not be as big a household name as some other starting pitchers, including his own teammate John Lester, but Jess, this guy's having about as good a year as anybody in the National League.
You look at his ERA, you look at his numbers, everything's going to come off of that fastball command. When you talk about the multitude of pitches, but also he's got a sinker, a slider in addition to that fastball, but with his slider, the way he can manipulate that pitch, make it look like a cutter, that's where I feel like he's been the best in August.
He always had a lot of promise with the Baltimore. He's taken it to a completely different level with the Cubs. He is second in the National League in ERA, and Dodgers are first and third. Zach Greinke 1, Clayton Kershaw 3. Here's Jimmy Rollins. Has picked it up a bit in the second half of the season, but still hitting just .220 on the year, still with some pop, 13 homers. Switch hitter batting left-handed and facing the shift from the Cubs.
Yeah, how many times you see that against a leadoff hitter? A shift that pronounced.
But unlike most shifts, and now Bryant is going to leave where he was, or rather Addison Russell is over there right now. Bryant's out in right field. Russell's going to leave where he was and go back to his shortstop position, because now they're not worried about the bunt anymore. But Rollins had a huge hole where the shortstop normally plays. Joe Madden will keep you on your toes.
And every pitch has been away, which you would think you're pitching against your defense, but you know, Jimmy Rollins throughout his career has been basically a dead pull hitter. When he goes the other way, he becomes a better hitter. But home run ball, he likes that home run ball.
High fly ball to center. Room for Fowler, one down. A lot of Cub fans in the house here in LA tonight. Cubs up 2-0 bottom of the first, and here's Chase Utley, just picked up from the Phillies. Really struggled for the first part of the season, spent 6 weeks on the DL with inflammation in his ankle, came back off the DL crazy hot, was traded to the Dodgers and has not continued that hot streak, as you can see, hitting 200. But they need him right now. Just Howie Kendrick on the DL with a hamstring injury, so they pick up a veteran who's been there, done that.
Well, and that's been the biggest thing, is his role inside the clubhouse, and really what he can do and bring to this team this time of year.
Reunited with his double play partner Jimmy Rollins. And a strike from Arrieta. And the count is 0-2. Utley's actually been taking some ground balls at third base in case the Dodgers decide to maybe try him there once Kendrick comes back, which they hope is in the middle of September. Utley has not played third base in the majors, Crucky, but he's been out there taking ground balls, and Don Mattingly told us the throw's going fine. He's got the arm, so we'll have to see.
Yeah, that's the issue this late in the year, to put a guy somewhere where he's never been. And I know when he was in the minor leagues with the Phillies, they tried him at third base for a while. I think when he was in Double-A, and I don't think Chase liked it too much, but you get to this point in your career, Dan, and you know, when all that matters is winning, and which has basically been Chase Utley's whole career, was all about winning and playing winning baseball. If Don Mattingly says we need you to play third, I'm sure he'll go and do the best he can.
Southern California guy back close to home here playing for the Dodgers. Again, the 0-2 from Arrieta. And there's a slower breaking ball, an 82-mile-an-hour curveball that misses down and away. Arrieta holding left-handed batters to a 173 average on the season. And again, great numbers, 16-6, a 2.22 ERA, career high in innings already, 178 strikeouts on the season this year. Joe Maddon saw him when Arrieta was an Oriole and Maddon was the Tampa Bay manager. Got to manage against him a lot. Now he gets to have him on his team. Scoop nicely out at second by Starlin Castro, who Joe Maddon just told us before the game hasn't said boo. He's been absolutely okay with Russell taking over at short and the reduced role for Castro.
Well, and this is what you have now. You have two shortstops playing in the middle for the Chicago Cubs, and that's something that Starlin Castro, to me, it looks like he's adapted to quickly, is the time clock. Playing second base, he catches that hard hit ball. He knew he didn't have to rush. He took his time. If that was playing shortstop, you know, maybe a jump throw, maybe some other type of throw, 360 turn. But, you know, he's figured that part out, which is nice to see if you're a Cubs fan.
So handling the change well, giving the Cubs more option. Addison Russell, Joe Maddon says, playing a great shortstop right now. He's all of 21 years of age. And a quick 0-2 count now on Adrian Gonzalez, having another very solid season. 24 homers, 75 driven in. This guy might be about as consistent as any player in baseball.
Yeah, you know, he was Mark Teixeira when, you know, early in Mark Teixeira's career. You can pencil him in for 30 and 100, and basically a 300 batting average seemingly every year.
A good start for Arrieta. 3 up, 3 down. Go the Dodgers. We're at the end of one with the Cubs leading 2-0.
Going out for date night with your man is nice, but I think women would agree. Snuggling up after is kind of nice too. But here's the thing. About half of men over 40 have some degree of erectile dysfunction. Well, Viagra helps guys with ED get and keep an erection.
Ask your doctor if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Viagra if you take nitrates for chest pain. It may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Side effects include headache, flushing, upset stomach, and abnormal vision. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. Stop taking Viagra and call your doctor right away if you experience a sudden decrease or loss in vision or hearing.
Ask your doctor about Viagra.
Now available in new single packs.
Box for razors.
Hold on 1 second. This is not enough.
That's all I have.
How about the watch? And I'll need that shirt too. Thank you.
Still getting beat up by high razor prices? DollarShaveClub.com ships amazing razors for just a few bucks.
When I'm commissioner of our Commercial Actors Fantasy Football League, we'll all have access to Matthew Berry's expert advice. I hope he likes Jamal Charles this year. What a head of hair that guy has.
This is the feeling of turning a game you love into a lifetime of cash. DraftKings.com, the daily fantasy baseball destination, is giving away over $300 million this baseball season. And the games are one day, so you can play for your share every single day. Just pick your sport, pick your players, and pick up your cash. Step up to the plate at DraftKings.com. Play with promo code MOUND and get free entry in our daily contests. Get to DraftKings.com.
Flour-pressed soap, homemade hot sauce,
artisanal pickles, whatever those are. Well, we're glad handcrafted is finally cool. Because at Firestone Complete Auto Care, we've been handcrafting since 1926. Robots might build cars, but it takes human hands to keep them running right. And that's a guarantee, backed by our fixed right promise. Firestone Complete Auto Care. Whatever you drive, drive a Firestone.
Here we go, top two in L.A. The Cubs up 2-0 on the Dodgers. And Jake Arrieta hitting in the 8th spot. As Joe Madden has done all season with his pitcher, takes a strike from Alex Wood. Again, if you're not familiar, and I think most people probably are by now, Joe Madden feels this is a better situation for Addison Russell, who's hitting 9th, that he'll get more pitches to hit, hitting in front of the leadoff hitter than hitting in front of a pitcher. He also feels it gives you an opportunity to pinch hit for your pitcher one spot earlier, if need be, and with Russell hitting 9th, it gives them a chance to have more men on base for the 2, 3, 4 hitters. And Joe Madden not afraid to think outside the box, try something new. He's not the first guy to do it, but he's been doing it every day this year. Tony La Russa, of course, did it a ton when he was managing the Cardinals. Swinging a foul off. 1-2. The count remains on Arrieta. Dan Shulman, John Kruk, Jessica Mendoza, Buster Olney with you in Los Angeles. For those who may not be familiar, and I think most people are, Jess is a 4-time All-American at Stanford, a 2-time Olympian, a staple of our coverage at the Women's College World Series. Part of our Baseball Tonight team. Did the game Monday night in, where was it, Phoenix? In Phoenix, and now here on Sunday night. Did I read that just like you wanted to?
No. Don't read any of it.
Yeah, and you guys have known each other for a while, right?
Yeah, we worked together 8 years ago? Seven,
8 years ago
at the Women's College World Series.
A couple years in a row, he came back. I mean, we didn't even scare him. I mean, that was.
He loves his softball.
I love softball, but the only reason I came back was Beth Mullins.
Yeah.
You know that.
What? I got nothing? I mean, come on, a little bit?
No, I'm still in shock that you were a 4-time All-American. Must have been slow years on the.
Kruk.
No, I'm kidding. Coach Candrea, the coach of the U.S. team when Jess was playing in the Olympics, told me that she's probably the greatest hitter in the world at that time, and that's so when we start talking hitting, let's go to her first.
All right.
Yeah.
I would argue with him for sure, but
well, when you're best in the world, it's like Michael Jordan territory. Michael Jordan's the best in the world.
I mean,
people think Clayton Kershaw's the best pitcher in the world right now.
I think you and I could have like a face-off of hitting that would be kind of fun. No, come on.
I couldn't swing around my gut right now.
2-1 the count on Addison Russell. Jess, you had a chance to talk to Russell before the game, right?
Yeah, I think what's cool about him, we talk a lot about the leg kick and something that hasn't been new in baseball, but definitely get more trendy. This is something that Addison added last couple months. He said he just wasn't feeling very fluid, wasn't seeing the ball well, and he saw teammates of his and Schwarber, Rizzo. Let me try this. Got in the cage, and he said literally the next day he went 3 for 3, just adding the leg kick. And he said it just allowed him to be a little bit more fluid, allowed him to see the ball better, which I thought was ironic because there's some guys that the leg kick I think takes away from seeing the ball well because their weight's moving so much. They get that head movement.
High fly ball to center. Jock Peterson shading his eyes from the sun will make the catch 2 down.
And Jock Peterson's actually one of them that his head will move. But when you watch Addison Russell, I mean, he just does a good job. And this is just something of a feel. Hitters, it's all about feel. And you look at that leg kick, but watch where he gets. He gets into that great, powerful position, and he doesn't slow down. So see, the leg kick comes, he gets the foot down. Here comes the backside, the hands, the beauty. It's gone. It's a beautiful, nice rhythm that he has. And I think you see a lot of guys play around with it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
To those of us who couldn't hit a beach ball if it was sitting on a tee, it seems like a big leg kick like that an off-speed pitch would really mess with your timing when your leg is that high up in the air. But that doesn't happen.
Dan, it's all about the front foot. When you get it down, and then your hands have to stay back. So I think you see guys that they get the leg kick and then they come down so hard. Eyes are moving. You're right, they're susceptible to that pitch.
1-2 the count on Fowler. Struck out to begin the game. 2-0 the Cubs lead, top of the second. Chris Bryant with a first inning home run for all the offense so far tonight. 1-2 from Alex Wood, up and in with a fastball. Breaking ball misses outside, framed by Grandal, but to no avail, and the count now full. Up to 38 pitches already for Alex Wood.
Alex Wood struggling with command.
Weak ground ball left side, charged by Kike Hernandez, and safe at first is Fowler, who runs well. Gonzalez really had to stretch on that wide throw. Dodgers may be thinking about reviewing this right now as you get a look at a replay.
I think it's a good call because it looks like the ball goes in the dirt and it's still not controlled.
Right. It's kind of smothered by Gonzalez.
Well, just that picture there, that according to the rule, it has to hit the back of the, when it hits the back of Adrian's glove. I don't think it ever hit the back of his glove, and not sure he had control of it till right about now.
Yeah, agreed. No challenge by the Dodgers, so safe at first is Fowler. Kike Hernandez has started at 5 different positions for the Dodgers. Has been playing a lot of center field recently. Can play all over the field. That will go as a base hit for Fowler, and it will get Denorfia to the plate.
And Kruk, you mentioned this off the top. You know, for the Dodgers heading down the stretch is still figuring out who they are, and I think these are the little things. You know, Kike is a tremendous athlete. He can play everywhere. There's no doubt about it, but that's a read play. You know your speed. You understand maybe I throw this off my front foot instead of fielding it and coming through, and I think when you play there every day, you know it.
Actually, I said he had started at 5 different positions. Make it 6. This is his first one at third base tonight. He has started at second, short, third, left, center, and right. So with his start at third base tonight, he has now started at 6 different positions. Swing and a miss, 1-2 on Denorfia.
What was the comment from Dodd Mattingly when you asked him which one he plays best? I don't know.
Because he does. He plays a lot well. And you see this last play. When you see Fowler, you know automatically, okay, I'm not going to just take this, field this in my glove. I need to run through this and throw it off my front foot. First game at third base, you give him benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, you give him a little benefit of the doubt. Yeah, but that is, you're right though. You know, if he runs through that ball, you saw him take a couple stutter steps, and with a guy like Fowler, a couple stutter steps means safe. I think Denorfia was trying to go the other way there.
You mean the other way into the seats, or you mean the other way right field?
Yeah, he's like, all right, Joe, look at.
It was more like cricket.
Yeah, this is okay. It's a ball. It's a ball. It's a ball. Oh boy, it's a strike. Yeah. Now watch him pull one down the left field line.
Well, the shadows may be getting easier for the hitters, but they're not so easy right now for Adrian Gonzalez at first base.
Last throwdown, he kind of turned.
Yeah. Fowler didn't see it at all. He covered his head, didn't want to get hit by the ball that he couldn't see. Breaking ball popped up right side, foul territory, and back in the first row. Fowler with a good speed, 17 steals on the season, been caught 7 times. Again, the 1-2. And again, a foul off to the right side. A chance for us to tell you what's coming up tomorrow night on ESPN. A Monday Night Baseball presented by USAA, 7 Eastern time. It'll be the New York Yankees who put up 20 runs on Atlanta today. Taking on the Boston Red Sox. David Ortiz homer today, number 494 in his career. The Yankees trying to keep pace with the Blue Jays atop the American League East. Both teams won today. Both teams swept their weekend series. So it remains a 1.5 game margin between Toronto and New York, both of whom are in a pretty good spot to make the playoffs right now. But obviously, you want to win your division if at all possible.
Did you say the Yankees scored 20?
I did.
Did Johnny Gomes pitch Friday night? They scored 15.
Johnny Gomes had a little Johnny Cueto going when he was pitching. Tampa Bay, Baltimore have fallen off. Base hit through the left side for Denorfia after a lengthy at bat, and that'll get Bryant to the plate.
It's just a quality at bat, not a beautiful hit, but the way he kept fouling off those pitches, Krucky, letting that ball travel, just seeing it deep, trying to force him to throw something he was looking for.
Well, that's one of those things you wonder why he sped his bat up with throwing an off-speed pitch. When he's shanking everything over the dugout, and you come back with a changeup and he can pull it in the hole between short and third.
Denorfia now 5 for 6 lifetime against Wood. And here's Chris Bryant, who homered last inning. Just over the outside edge for a strike, 0-1. The home run for Bryant is 21st. RBIs number 78 and 79. A line drive into about the third or fourth row of seats in the left field bleachers.
This is where I think Wood is struggling, is really establishing that inside to these righties so that he can start to use his off-speed more in a more effective way. To be able to come in there and into that kitchen, he's just having a hard time locating anywhere in the inside part of the plate.
Fowler at second, Denorfia at first, 2 down. Just outside, ball 2. As you would imagine, he's tougher on lefties. The righties see the ball a lot better. The numbers follow suit. Not a hard thrower, pretty much 89-90 with a fastball. Change up away, ball 3.
Now what's he do? We saw the numbers, righty lefty. Rizzo's up next, but Rizzo's one of the best lefties at hitting left-handed pitchers. So what do you do here? You got to try to go down and away and hope Bryant chases and rolls over and hits a grounder to Jimmy Rollins.
Went with a breaking ball, 3-2.
Pretty gutsy right there. Not having much command of his pitches and going 3-1 breaking ball.
Getting his work in. 30 pitches in the inning, 52 through an inning and 2/3. Trying to get out of this without any damage done. Runners will be on the move. Got him. Back-to-back breaking balls to strike out Bryant and strand a couple. Good recovery by Wood. Bryant shaking his head as he comes off the field.
So what made you switch to Taco Bell's AM Crunch Wrap?
They put everything in here. There's like eggs, cheese, bacon.
A hash brown in the AM Crunch Wrap. That looks really good right now. I'm Anita.
I'm Lanita.
And I'm a breakfast defector.
With my moderate to severe ulcerative colitis, the possibility of a flare was almost always on my mind. Thinking about what to avoid, where to go, and how to deal with my UC. To me, that was normal until I talked to my doctor. She told me that Humira helps people like me get UC under control and keep it under control when certain medications haven't worked well enough.
Humira can lower your ability to fight infections, including tuberculosis. Serious, sometimes fatal infections and cancers, including lymphoma, have happened, as have blood, liver, and nervous system problems, serious allergic reactions, and new or worsening heart failure. Before treatment, get tested for TB. Tell your doctor if you've been to areas where certain fungal infections are common, and if you've had TB, hepatitis B, are prone to infections, or have flu-like symptoms or sores. Don't start Humira if you have an infection.
Raise your expectations. Ask your gastroenterologist about Humira. With Humira, control is possible.
Amen, let's play ball.
Oh, he pops it in at center field. Could be trouble.
I see Walker. Go, 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 go.
However you play ball, play ball. Go to playball.org to find out more.
Welcome back to Los Angeles. Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN from Dodger Stadium. Dan Shulman, Jessica Mendoza, John Kruk, Buster Olney. Glad you're along with us. A 2-0 lead for the Cubs. 2 runs, 5 hits already for the Cubs, including the 2-run homer by Kris Bryant. But Alex Wood just struck out Bryant with 2 men on to end a threat in the top of the second. It'll be Andre Ethier, Carl Crawford, and Yasmani Grandal for the Dodgers. Ethier is hot, hitting .397 in the month of August, as Montero appears to be okay. Ethier, though, not playing on an everyday basis throughout August. 23 for 58. With Puig healthy, they've got Puig and Ethier and Crawford, and it's become a familiar refrain in the last couple of years. Too many outfielders and not enough spots. But with Puig now back on the DL with a hamstring strain, different hamstring than the first injury he had. Ethier's going to play every day, and Don Mattingly, Kruk, likes the versatility. Ethier can play left, can play right. They can put him in center if they need to, but he's really a corner outfielder.
Yeah, and I think the more important thing is like I said earlier, yeah, they finally found someone hot to hit behind Adrian Gonzalez. And you know, when if Jimmy Rollins and Chase Utley can get on base, it's going to get Adrian better pitches to hit, especially against right-handed pitchers, because Andre's swinging it so well.
Arrieta nods in agreement with Montero. 0-2 breaking ball hit weakly up the first baseline. Arrieta off the mound in plenty of time to make the play 1 down. That'll bring up Carl Crawford, hitting in the 5 spot tonight. Crawford has hit first, second, 5th, 6th. 4 different spots for the Dodgers. A guy who, as seems to often to be the case, has had trouble putting a consistent, healthy year together. Hoping that Don Mattingly hoping he can inject a little bit of speed into the lineup, although Crawford doesn't run nearly as much as he used to. Just 4 steals this year. Looping fly ball to left, carries out to Caesar, 2 down. And 5 in a row set down by Arrieta to begin his night. Hey, they fill this place, don't they?
They're over 3 million already.
Yep.
Well, they're a good team. Interesting team. You never know what you're going to get from day to day, so I'm sure it's fun to come out.
Yeah. Haven't been a lot of dull moments the last couple of years.
I'm sure when Greinke and Kershaw pitch, it's filled. Which I think I'd pay to watch both of them too.
Hoping those two can lead them back to the postseason and maybe further than they've gone the last couple of years. 19th year in the last 20. They've gone over 3 million. The Dodgers not only haven't won the World Series since 1988, have not been to the World Series since 1988. If the playoffs were to start today, they would play the New York Mets in a division series.
How's that for a face-off of pitchers?
Yeah.
Greinke, DeGrom, and Harvey and Kershaw. Kershaw and DeGrom, Greinke and Harvey.
You can do it in any order. It's going to work for both managers, I think.
I don't think you have to flip too big a coin. That could be some quick 1-0, 2-1 game.
If the games are out here, some shadows, those pitching matchups could be scoreless going to the 9th. Kershaw is absolutely dealing these days. Right on the corner, a strike and a full count on to Grandal.
It's cool too to see, or hear, I guess, other pitchers and how they watch. And Buster Olney talked to Kershaw prior to the game about how he watches Arrieta, and Arrieta told us yesterday about how he was watching Kershaw Friday night throw against the Cubs.
Swing and a miss, inning over. 6 up, 6 down for Arrieta. 2-0 Cubs as we go to the top of the 3rd. Cleanup hitter Anthony Rizzo will lead it off for the Cubs when we come back.
The keys to this home belong to Mark and Alyssa Anderson. They bought the place 4 months ago, on what was arguably the scariest day of their lives. Neither has any idea what the future holds for them. But they bought into a 30-year mortgage anyway. That was bold. They must really believe in themselves. Buy in. Quicken Loans. Home buy, refi, power.
This summer, you can win tickets every hour to concerts of your choice. But only with Pepsi.
You still got the polar bear?
Pop open music every hour with Pepsi.
Sayuri516 posted,
Off to buy stuff for the home, stuff for the kids, even stuff for the dog. Hashtag bigger Honda, please.
wow, looks like it's time to switch your Accord for a CRV. An Odyssey. Come to the Honda Summer Clearance event. The Odyssey is the best-selling minivan in its class with plenty of room for all of them.
I love it.
Actually, there's room for more.
Hurry in to the Honda Summer Clearance event for a great deal on your new Honda.
This is the feeling of turning a game you love into a lifetime of cash. DraftKings.com, the daily fantasy baseball destination, is giving away over $300 million this baseball season. And the games are one day, so you can play for your share every single day. Just pick your sport, pick your players, and pick up your cash. Step up to the plate at DraftKings.com. Play with promo code MOUND and get free entry in our daily contests. Get to DraftKings.com.
We go to the top of the third here at Dodger Stadium. The Cubs lead the Dodgers 2-0 on the home run by Kris Bryant. Anthony Rizzo is going to lead off the inning for the Cubs, having a terrific year. A home run off Clayton Kershaw on Friday. He's got 26 home runs on the season. He's got 78 RBIs, 15 stolen bases, one of the leaders of this young team. Hitting a lot better against lefties than he used to. Krucky, look at this list. Does Rizzo belong on this list? And if the season ended right now, who would your MVP be?
I wish you wouldn't ask me that. If the season ended right now, I would, well, I'd have to say Andrew McCutchen. Just pure numbers are better than Anthony Rizzo's, but I don't know if the Cubs are where they are. To me, the Pirates, to me, have a better supporting cast with Gung hitting well and Starlin Marte and Neil Walker starting to pick it up. But and Rizzo's basically a young kid trying to lead younger kids to where they need to be, and they're there, and so it wouldn't surprise me if they were co-MVPs.
Jess, who's your MVP?
I like Paul Goldschmidt. Talk about underrated. I mean, that's the guy that's not good. And I know he's with the D-backs, and it's not a team that you're seeing on TV a lot, but this is a guy that I think, along with Rizzo, plays his position well. He can run, he can hit, everything.
That's a fair ball, and Gonzalez will make the play, one down. Well, that's the age-old argument. Do you have to be on a contending team to win the MVP? Because you can make a case that Bryce Harper and Paul Goldschmidt have had the two best seasons of anybody in the National League, but neither one of those teams is in a playoff position right now. Buster, what are your thoughts? And you know the writers better than we do. You know people who vote on these awards better than we do. What do you think the consensus, if there is one, is on this award right now?
I think there has been a drift toward more of a sabermetric analysis of this, where I think writers more and more are looking at the best player, and contending is not as much of a factor, but it is a factor for some writers, and it will be a factor in the voting. If you eliminate the standings from it, there's no question Bryce Harper's the MVP of the National League right now. But we'll just have to wait and see how long the Nationals stay in it. We'll see if the Giants drift back. We'll see if the Diamondbacks can get into it. It's a fascinating race because of that very question, Dan.
Yep. And you know, Buster Posey, if it's possible to be a Rookie of the Year batting champion, MVP, three-time World Series champion, and still be overlooked, Buster Posey still gets overlooked. He's fifth in the league in hitting. He's fourth in the league in RBIs. He plays a premier defensive position. It's a good argument.
And I hear what Buster's saying about, sabermetric. Everything's sabermetrics driven right now. Not everything, but a lot of things in this game now are sabermetrics driven. But you're talking valuable. You're not talking numbers. And Paul Goldschmidt's a great player. Bryce Harper's a great player. But if they weren't on their teams right now, would their teams be any better off than they are? Yeah, but maybe the Diamondbacks would be in 4th or 5th place instead of 3rd or 4th. And maybe the Nationals would be in 4th place instead of 2nd. But what's the value? To me, it's a guy who leads your team to win and get into the postseason. That's value. Now, if you want to say outstanding player, sure, Harper and Goldschmidt are as good as anyone in baseball.
Up the middle, a base hit for Starlin Castro, who's 2 for 2. A look back from the Getty Center in Los Angeles. Great panoramic shot, live shot here on a beautiful night. Toasty warm, just the way Kruk likes them. Did you like playing here? Did you like hitting here?
No.
Let me say that.
I didn't like hitting here, and I said it a few years ago. Like, I hated coming to Dodger Stadium, and people on Twitterverse thought that I said I hated the Dodgers and hated Dodger Stadium. You have to remember they had great pitching back then, and that's why you didn't like coming here. It had nothing to do with the field, the city, the whatever. But no, I didn't like playing here. It's big.
Ball doesn't carry well, right?
No.
And Caesar. Liner to right field. Ethier back, makes the catch with the sunglasses down for out number 2. Most of the shadows have gone away right now. And really, I think the only guy who would have some serious issues with the sun at this point would be the right fielder. That's what he's dealing with. Good luck.
And you can tell by the way he gets this ball. He pauses initially off a contact, then he finds it again. But you'll always see a hesitation at some point, because that's when the ball goes into the sun. You're just waiting. You're smart. He's got the glasses. He's got his bill pulled down. That's all you can really do. Use the glove a little bit to shade and hope the ball finds it.
2 down. Here's Miguel Montero. Did he go on the appeal? He sure did, says Chad Fairchild down to third. By the way, Cubs backup catcher David Ross, who Joe Madden raved about before the game in terms of what his experience, his leadership, what he's meant to the team, is not with the team right now, at home tending to a family medical situation, and sending our best thoughts to David Ross, hoping he is back with the Cubs very soon and that everything turns out okay at home. So they've got Montero and Schwarber, who can both catch and play the outfield. And of course, in a couple of days, rosters will expand. And then everybody will bring up reinforcements. You can see Wood is no day at the beach for a left-handed batter.
Well, if I were him, I would stick consistently with exactly what he's doing. And right here, the last pitch was a breaking ball, followed before that with a fastball. But he's got that movement that just physics. Everything, you look at the swing of Montero. Everything about your body wants to move towards right field, move right up the down, and he has to stop his swing just to be able to make contact. And you can tell he's not seeing the ball that well.
But he earns himself a base hit off the end of the bat. Little flare into left field. That is the 7th hit already for the Cubs.
This is him adjusting within the at bat. His first pitch, he swung at a pitch nowhere in the zone. He fouls off a pitch, and then he takes this. Look at the location. I mean, this is a ball all the way, but he's not sure. He's not seeing it clearly, so he just slows down. Watch him just slow down. His leg's gone. But he keeps that bat path in the zone long enough just to get it off the end, find that one spot on green, get the hit.
And here's where Joe Madden will talk about, this is one of the situations where hitting the pitcher 8th doesn't work. He had 2 on, 2 outs, first and second, and your 8th hitter comes up and he happens to be the pitcher. But he told us he can live with it. He understands that's going to happen sometimes.
Yep, gave us 3 different reasons, the same 3 he's given us all year. The first reason he always gives is the development of the number 9 hitter, Addison Russell. And yesterday is an example when Tommy LaStella was in the lineup. Although the pitcher still hit 8th, LaStella hit 9th, Russell hit 7th. But Joe Madden feels that Russell, a young developing hitter, will get better pitches to hit if he hits in the 9th spot with a position player hitting behind him. Wood makes quick work of Arrieta. The Cubs are stranding some base runners so far here tonight.
They're coming. Their mission is clear. They're going to try to take what's ours. Are you ready?
When a moment spontaneously turns romantic, why pause to take a pill? And why stop what you're doing to find a bathroom? With Cialis for daily use, you don't have to plan around either. It's the only daily tablet approved to treat erectile dysfunction, so you can be ready anytime the moment is right. Plus, Cialis treats the frustrating urinary symptoms of BPH, like needing to go frequently, day or night. Tell your doctor about all your medical conditions and medicines and ask if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Cialis if you take nitrates for chest pain, as it may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Do not drink alcohol in excess. Side effects may include headache, upset stomach, delayed backache, or muscle ache. To avoid long-term injury, get medical help right away for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. If you have any sudden decrease or loss in hearing or vision, or any symptoms of an allergic reaction, stop taking Cialis and get medical help right away. Why pause the moment? Ask your doctor about Cialis for daily use. For a free 30-tablet trial, go to Cialis.com.
We just played Disney Infinity 3.0.
Now there's Star Wars playsets.
Like Twilight of the Republic.
There was Rise Against the Empire.
I was Yoda.
I was Darth Vader.
I was Princess Leia. We shot down TIE fighters.
I raced through Endor Forest.
To battle on Hoth.
There was everything.
It was epic.
Get the starter pack to start your adventure. Content and characters sold separately. Rated everyone 10 and up.
PlayStation.
Is this the transporter?
Your client stole from me. That's not my problem. It is now. Dad, it's time for revenge.
The transporter refueled. Rated PG-13 in theaters and IMAX September 4th.
Welcome back to Dodger Stadium. Dan Shulman, Jessica Mendoza, John Kruk, Buster Olney. Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN. The Cubs, despite stranding 6 men already, have a 2-0 lead on the Dodgers going to the bottom of the third, and leading it off for L.A., center fielder Jock Peterson in the lineup tonight. Has played sparingly recently because he has been struggling so much second half of the season. Remember, he was one of the big young stars in baseball in the first half, hitting for a ton of power, but the average kept dropping.